Sorry, please, I want to confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, I'll start now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, distinguished judges, Mr. Praise, and every other team member from Data Flow Organization. My name is Blessing AK, and together with my team, the Data Ninjas, we present to you Cage Digital Defense, or KDD as we would address it in the course of this presentation. So a quick backstory as to how we arrived here. Nigeria is one of the fastest growing digital economies in Africa, but as digital adoption rises, cybercrime is rising even faster. According to national communications authorities, Nigeria loses about $500 million every year to cybercrime. And what is less talked about is that most of this damage happens at the small and medium enterprise level, not in big banks. To give us a clear picture of this problem, somewhere in Nigeria right now, a small business is losing money, not because they lack customers or ideas, but because unseen cyber criminals are draining their income. That's why we created this project. Our mission is urgent and clear. We want to give Nigerian SMEs affordable, intelligent, and practical cyber defense. That is, a protection that cuts cyber losses by 60 to 80% and restores trust in the digital economy. The problem we solve is massive. It's a 100+ billion naira annual crisis that's threatening the backbone of Nigeria's economy. According to statistics, SMEs make up 96% of businesses in Nigeria and contribute about 46.3%, which is nearly half of the country's gross domestic product. Yet, typical losses per cyber incident range from 500,000 naira to 5 million naira. And for many SMEs, one serious attack is not just a setback, it's literally a death sentence. And when these businesses try to defend themselves, the tools they find are either too costly, too complex, or simply outdated. Now, it feels like they are fighting modern attacks with yesterday's weapons. That's where our solution comes in. Our solution is lean, smart, and built for the realities of Nigerian SMEs. Today, my team and I will show you how Cage Digital Defense, KDD, is turning data into protection and protection into prosperity. Over to you, Edidayo.
All right, thank you very much, Blessing. So now that we understand the size of the cyber problems facing Nigerian SMEs, here is our solution. KDD is a smart, affordable cyber defense system built specifically for SMEs. At its core, KDD does 4 things and it does them very well. The first thing it does is detects suspicious behavior in real time. It doesn't wait for the damages to happen. It watches how systems behave normally and raises alerts as soon as suspicious activity comes up. Number 2, it runs seamlessly on everyday SME systems, such as POS machines, laptops, and cloud tools. So there's no need for SMEs to upgrade their infrastructures to expensive systems. 3, it's affordable to deploy. We designed KDD around SME-friendly budgets. 4, it is simple to use. Business owners don't need to be cybersecurity experts to use KDD. It gives alerts in actionable insights, which are interpretable through dashboards. Behind all of this, KDD has 3 core capabilities. It integrates data, it predicts risks, and it provides insights. In simple terms, KDD turns everyday SME activity into a live cyber early warning system. Next slide, please. So now I'm sure that you're all asking, why machine learning? Why don't we just use traditional antivirus systems? Well, the answer to that question is simple. Because of the nature of cyber attacks, which has rapidly changed, today machine learning acts as a 24/7 security analyst that doesn't sleep. and it constantly watches activities and sports patterns that humans cannot detect in real time. So now these are the limitations of traditional antivirus. The first one is that 79% of modern attacks are malware-free. There's no virus file to scan. So attackers can simply log in using stolen credentials and ruin a business. The second point, 70% of breaches start at endpoints. Your laptops, POS terminals, and your employee devices are the most liable devices to get corrupted and attacked. Lastly, traditional antivirus tools are increasingly bypassed. Attackers no longer look like attackers. They look like everyday users like you and I. So this creates a very dangerous trust gap where your antivirus is saying that you are safe, but your business is already compromised. And once your business is compromised, you're a sitting duck. So now machine learning addresses this by finding hidden threats, by learning normal behavioral patterns and flagging abnormal activities. Secondly, it runs on low-cost SME hardware because what we are using is lightweight models. Lastly, it builds trust with clear explanations. We don't just say that a threat was blocked. We tell you who logged in, where they logged in from, what time, and what they were trying to do. When SMEs understand what is happening, they trust the system, they act faster, and they are now protected. So in summary, machine learning is not an upgrade to antivirus. No, it's a solution and a response to the evolving cyber threats that are currently being faced. Over to you, Uche.
Thank you very much, Edidayo. So let's talk about the business impact and the return on investment and KDD. So as we all know, one average Nigerian SME cyber attack can cost roughly around $5 million in downtime, data losses, recovery, trust, customer trust, and then also maybe revenue, right? So for KDD, we designed like a package that just costs our blended price just costs like an average of 180,000 naira per year. So this means that preventing one attack can save a business 5 million with just an investment of about 180,000 naira worth of tool. This like roughly this is around like 27 times return on investments. So let's dive a little bit deeper, right? And let's look at like the units economics per SME, right? In terms of like the return on investment. I'm sorry, the ROI or like the margins for the organization. So per SME, right? Our blended price, we're looking at an average cost of about 180,000 naira per SME, right? We roughly also looking like at a variable cost of about 49,000 naira per SME, which gives us like a profit per SME of 131,000, which translates to like a gross profit margin of about 72.
So are you speaking off of a slide? I can't see the slide where you're calling these numbers from.
Guys, who was sharing slide? Where to slide to?
I just saw the slide. I see the project we deliver this. You're calling numbers. I'm not seeing what's on the number. What's where you're calling numbers from? Is it on this slide? If it's not on the slide, go ahead, speak. I just want to know if it's all part of your slide.
Yeah,
No,
it
it's
is.
not.
It is.
It's not.
It's not on this particular
it's
slide.
not.
Okay,
Yes.
fine. Yeah, okay, go ahead. So that's fine. I wanted to be sure. Speaking
Okay.
off of a different model, okay, that you guys have built for the ROI. So go
No,
ahead.
it's in the appendix.
It's
It's on the appendix. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Uchenna, you can go.
All right. So essentially what this means is that KDD is like it's affordable for SMEs, it's profitable for sustainability, it's scalable nationwide. Essentially KDD is not just a protective system, it's a self-sustaining cybersecurity business model. So I'll hand over to Pem for the data conversation. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Uche. Standing on the existing protocol. So for KDD to truly protect SMEs, so we need to understand the environment which they operate in. So that's why our data is both is hybrid and multi-source that is gotten from devices, activities, POS and retail log, cloud expert, e.g., AWS, Microsoft 360, industry benchmark, and Nigerian SME traffic. The need because there is no so our needs, we have to be so the needs. So we strictly follow NDPA compliant handling, like including our data and anonymization. Then we proceed to feature engineering for behavioral pattern. So because there is no public data set where we have POS
Adeleke,
fraud activities. Yes, sir.
Adeleke, calm
Yes, sir.
down. Yeah, I know you are time conscious, but calm down and continue with your presentation, okay? Go ahead.
Okay, sir. So because there is no public data set where we have POS, fraud activities, WhatsApp business activities, cloud misuse. So we combine global attack data sets with synthetic SME log and local threat intelligence. So this gives us a Nigerian focused data set, which we use to train KDD to detect SME threats in Nigeria. Over to you, Divine Peace.
Okay, thank you very much, Edijayo. We plan to deliver KDD in 4 phases, which will span 12 months. In the first phase, which is the 1st to the 3rd month, we are going to be signing an agreement with this SME according to the Nigerian Data Protection Act. We'll be cleaning and we'll be transforming this data based on our data pipelines. For the second phase, which is the 4 to 6 months, we will be training and validating our model with other models like random forest, XGBoost, and isolation forest. We would also be creating a dashboard which would help us to properly explain these model insights to our users. In the 3rd phase, we have the 3rd phase, the 7th to the 9th month, we will be deploying this model to 20 to 50 SMEs in various sectors for real-world testing. This would help us to monitor the detection accuracy of KDD. In the final phase, which is the 10th to the 12th month, we would have a production-ready product, which would help us to deploy, and it's also help us to formulate our price model as well. We'll be establishing partnership with managed service providers like cloud services. And with this delivery plan, we have estimated 200 to 2,000 SMEs would be protected within 2 years of rollout. Next slide, please. Now, we looked at some risks, and we also found out how KDD responds to these particular risks. The first one is poor data quality. Just like we've seen in the delivery plan, the first month is going to be used to clean the data and transform the data to get relevant KPIs based on our data pipeline. The second one, SME adoption. We are going to be partnering with managed service providers like some IT infrastructure companies or some cloud provider companies, so that this solution can be easily adopted by SMEs. The 3rd one, evolving threats. We are going to be regularly updating and also retraining the model so as to be able to track the recent cyber crimes or recent cyber attacks. Black Box AI fear. This has to do with concerns of transparency and also trust. We are going to be explaining, or we are going to be integrating a sharply addictive model, which will give the SME a detailed insight of what happens with their data. Then finally, connectivity issue, which is a generic issue. We are going to be responding to this particular risk by our hybrid offline mode. This will help our solution to be accessible both online and offline. All these responses align with KDD's feasibility studies. Thank you very much. Over to you, Ifeanyi.
Yeah, thank you so much, Peace. So we have listened to the problems. We have listened to the problem we want to solve and the solution we aim to provide. And now all this can be done if you don't have the necessary resources to actualize this. Now, we need 3 main resources. One is access. When I mean access, we need access to the data set that will help us train this model. We need to train to be able to detect this cyber activity. And we also need people when we talk about people, because of the nature of the project we are building, we'll be needing the expertise of an ML engineer, we'll be needing the expertise of a backend developer who is going to help us to implement this the pipeline that we're going to build. You also need the help of a DevOps. You also need a cybersecurity analyst and also a product manager who would ensure that we are always on our toes to make sure that what is to be delivered is delivered per time. And also, we also need technology, because we can't just build this if we don't have the necessary technology. And what technology do we need? We need the likes of, we'll be using scikit-learn, we need AWS for compute power to help us run this model, because definitely we know this is going to be an heavy machine learning model, right? And all this can be done if you don't have the necessary fund. And that is why we are seeking about 300 to 350 million to be able to cover these expenses. And how do we structure, how do we expect to, how do we allocate this fund? With giving 45% to the talent.
Your time is up.
Winner, please, pardon me. Can we give them 2-3 more minutes, please? 3 minutes, please. Please. Pardon, I'm interested in this, please. Go ahead, you have 3 minutes. Winner, please, pardon me.
Yeah,
we can subtract it from your maths, please.
Thank you so much, sir. So how do we expect to allocate this fund? How do we expect to allocate this one? We've said because of the nature of the work, we know that it's most dependent on the expertise of talent. That is why we are giving 45% to the talent, so that we can bring the top guys who will help us deliver this work and to ensure that people's thoughts are not jeopardized, right? And we've also allocated 20% to infrastructure, because definitely we'll be needing compute power to be able to build this, and 20% is being allocated to that purpose. And we also have 50% for our pilot deployments, because definitely we'll be needing some pilots, users. We'll be needing some pilots to help us test run our project is working, and 10% is going to the market, and 10% for the legal costs, because definitely companies definitely need the legal team. So we have already allocated 10% to that purpose. And also, after we've allocated these funds, how do we select the pilots SMEs we'll be using? So we'll still get, we'll now move to selecting this pilot we are going to use to test on what we built, and to be able to tell us if there's a need to fine tune our models, or to see if there's anything to be done better. And after that, we're now going to begin to develop our project. And this tells you that once we have this source available, KDD is ready to move from proposal to pilot to nation development, where we aim to deliver real impact, measurable AI, and scalable revenue. And I believe if we have all this in place, we will definitely get the best out of it. And for if there's any need for more information, we have already compiled some documents which we put as an appendix, which you can see. And thank you so much for your time. We can entertain your questions, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, so for the 1 minute or the 2 extra minutes that you took, we'll find somewhere else to take them time back. Apologies, I didn't know this was your last slide, so which was good enough. Okay, Sean, you want to go first?
Sure. You said this was an area of interest for you, so I think you probably have more to ask than I do. Okay. This is not in my wheelhouse so much. It is becoming more and more the security aspect of AI. For me, the presentation, thank you for doing it. I understand what you're trying to accomplish. It was a little bit vague for me. Each slide, I think, needed more specificity, which I think you may have in the appendix. I'd love to see the appendix if that's possible at some point. It was very general. Like if I think about the ROI presentation portion, that slide, you said 68 to 80% reduction, which was also mentioned at the beginning. And the benefits from that were very qualitative terms, fewer false alerts. Right? And I figured, again, the details must be in the appendix. That's my general feedback. It was less concrete information than I would have liked to hear overall, but this is not my area of expertise. Over to you, Ben.
All right, thanks. Okay, I actually picked up interest in this, and I'm not going to lie to you. Go back to your first slide. Go back to your first slide. I picked up interest. I've got a few things on cybersecurity, and Sean, probably you might not get a few more detail about these, but no, come to the next one. It's fine, because this is local data they pulled off in here, and then SMEs local. But here is something I'm going to say about this. This is first question. This is me asking, anybody within the team can answer. Are you doing this on a research basis, trying to make a presentation, or you are doing this like a product you want to deliver? That will help me. Is this something you think you can work on, and then a product you want to deliver?
It first started as a research work, but delving into it, I think it's something that we can run full scale.
Winner has his hands up. Winner.
Yeah, so the first phase they went through is research, which they had, each of them had a research paper. So now grouping together, they had to pick one research paper and then present it. So by next phase will be MVP demo. So they are definitely going to be working on it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. So this is a real challenge in country. However, because it's real challenge for SMEs and basically Nigeria, and the cost of cybersecurity products, you probably might be able to have a buy-in within the SME space in country. All right, this is sitting within Nigeria. So I kind of love this. I kind of picked interest in this. I kind of like where you're going to. But like Sean said, there's a lot of very vague and not so detailed information within your slide, right? And someone said there are some things on the appendix, and then somebody was calling off of things on a. If you're calling numbers, my feedback is put it on a slide. Don't put it on an appendix. You don't expect me. Yeah, appendix could be the details, but at least put a slide where you talk about your ROI and the rest of that. So question I'm going to ask again is, do you think about competition? What do you think about competition? What are you have a market. There is a market for this, right? But what do you think about your competition? Who you think is going to be your biggest competition in doing this? How do you penetrate this? So you can take these questions down and answer me actually afterwards. How do you penetrate this small and medium scale market within the rural area, not just the urban area? Because these are the guys that are most hit with the cyber attacks. The guys within the urban areas might be able to understand that, oh, if somebody is texting me and is asking me for my details, I don't need to give. But the one in the village doesn't understand. Maybe he's thinking, oh, my bank is calling me. How do you go to these people? What is the methodology? What do you have a plan of maybe some level of training and retraining to move to this area of the business? I also look at your rollout plan for production is quite vague. There's a lot of very bogus, not really bogus, let me not use the word bogus so that you don't get confused about that. We are not fake, but just vague, not detailed numbers. I'm not seeing that. So your rollout plan, I didn't see it. And then resource required, I saw a few things about your resource required. Is this resource not within you? Like within this group, don't we have back end? Don't we have UI, UX developers? Don't we have front end developers? Don't we have within this team some data analysis within this team? When you're saying resource required, you're saying like this a resource, you are going to go higher to do this. That wasn't clear for me. And then you're looking for 300 million as an investment for what? I saw that you broke it down. Please go back to that ROI slide. I saw that you broke it down 40%, 30%, 20%, 10% that goes into that. Please, yeah, go back there. Yes, here. So talent, infrastructure, pilots, go to market, marketing, and all of those, and then legal. Very fantastic. So if somebody is putting 350 million down for these resources, what is the, and I saw that in the slide prior. I think it was Divine Peace that took that took the slide prior where you say you go in with 80,000 or 180,000. I don't know. I think it's Uchenna that said you have an average price of 180,000, and then if you have an average price of 180,000 per SMEs, are these SMEs indeed going to be able to afford? If I lose 500,000 naira, or yeah, that's 500. If I lose 500 naira, you say between 500 and 5 million, right? Per annum. Why will I want to invest 180,000, or why will I want to invest 300,000 to buy your premium product. And if I buy that premium product of 300,000, that's too expensive for the target market and for your target audience. That is extremely expensive, is on the high end. So you probably might need to relook that, take a look at that model again. And if you also look at somebody and then you come to Ben or you come to Sean and say, oh, we have this project, we need to do this. You need to give me more meat to put $300,000 or 300,000 naira down. 300 million, actually, sorry. 300 million and give it to this group, to these data ninjas and say, okay, data ninjas, you have a 300 million. Within a space of 12 months, I thought that was a roadmap, right? Within a space of 12 months, how do you turn this 300 million back? What will I get as an ROI for me, the investor? You know you already have an ROI for the man who you think loses 500,000 naira or 500,000 per annum. He might not agree with you that he loses 500,000 in a year. It's an average computation. But if I invest 300 million in 2 years, what is my ROI? In 6 months, what is the return on investment to you, even the developers, and to me who is putting this money? Those are things I didn't see, and I would like to have, even if you don't have that now, you might not be able to give us that all of the answers now, but it might be something you might need to think about, look into it. I could tell you locally, if you pitch this, I think Sean made that kind of offer in the first presentation. If you pitch this, I can have 1, 2, 3 cybersecurity firms that'll be very willing to look at it. If you put in details into it, they'll be very willing to look at this, put their skin in the game for this, and put a sweat in it and say, okay, let's make it work. But they need to see a return and be sure that that return is actually there. They will validate and verify everything you're going to do. I have another question with your data source. Please go back to that data source. There was something I saw on the data source. I already wrote it down. And then here, I saw it on the next slide where you talked about your data source. Yes, your data source. Understanding how much data sources are and how much data is scarce commodity in country. How reliable is this? I'm done with my questions. So let's see how much you could answer. I've asked so many and I've said so much. So I think I've taken so much time trying to discuss this here. So I have interest in this. I've done a little bit of cybersecurity in country, so I understand where this is coming from. There's a real need for this.
All right. Thank you so much. Because of time, I think they can take 1 or 2, but the most important thing is that these questions are coming more like feedbacks. So our participants, data ninjas, please take note of them as things to implement in further progress of the project. But I'll be handing over to you. Take 1 or 2 questions, provide answers because of time.
All right, sir. Could I quickly ask you a question? What are the
Please
2
do.
questions that you want us to answer the most?
Pick any two, the return on investment for the investor and your data source, reliability of your data source. Answer those 2.
Okay, so for the return on
investment,
investment,
feedback for you too, actually, but I need that return on investment. Yeah, I love money so much. Sorry, guys.
okay, Blessing, please, could you go to the appendix? I think appendix C. All right, let me just be talking while she's still going to it. So regarding the return on investment, I use an adoption principle of, I think, 0.1% featuring the early adopters of a system, basically in line with Nigeria's curve of adoption of a product. So it is estimated that within the first year, there should be around 200 to, I think, let me check it. Blessing, please, could you, okay, let me just open it for myself. Within 200 to 350 customers in the first year. Then in the second year, 1,200 to 2,000 customers. Then in the third year, 6,000 to 10,000. Then in the fourth year, 15,000 to 22,000. Then in the fifth year, 30,000 to 40,000. So for the unit economics per SME, using the base case of 180K as the ARUP and a total variable cost of 49,000, which was estimated. All these numbers are just assumptions. So the first year has a gross profits per SME of 131,000, which gives a margin of 72.8%. So I used the same ARUP for the 5 years for this analysis. At the end of the analysis, it was discovered that we're operating cost of 135 million in the first year and 210 million in the second year, 306 in the third year, and so on. It was discovered that in year 2, the company breaks even with 1,641 SMEs, which is in line with the projection that we've set in place. Then using those same economics, I got the LTV, the lifetime value of a customer using the ARUP. So getting that, I multiplied it and I multiplied with the 180,000 by 4 years, which is due to us having partnership with MSPs, which reduces churn rates to around, I think, 12%. So using those calculations, it was found out that the LTV, then the CAC costs, we assume that the cost of acquisition of one SME is 150,000, which is quite on the high side. Okay. So using those figures, we did the LTV all over CAC ratio, which gave us a ratio of approximately 3:1. This shows that the business is.
Fakunle, thank you. Thank you. I wanted to be sure that this is somewhere, right? This is not a time to defend. I love the fact that you guys actually put a thought through this. Okay. If somebody's going to invest, you can rack this number with you, argue on them and all of that. But the fact that you actually had put it in there would have been just a slide that summarizes this. Okay. You already have a slide, but put this detail, this, year 1, year 2, year 3. And that's my feedback to you. So thanks, guys. I think you've done a good job. And we probably will see in the future on what you're going to do with this. I'm quite interested, and I love what I see. There is just a lot more details that you guys have hidden in your appendix, and appendixes that should have just been just one small 2-3 slides that will come up, and will give somebody that's Sean that probably doesn't understand how this work within this environment, give him some interest in what you're presenting. So thank you so much. Sean, any other feedback from you?
No, I'm good. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ben, and
Data,
thank you, Mr. Sean.
Yeah, Team Data Ninjas, you can leave the room now so that we can call in others to join. Thank you so much for your presentation.